Right then, first off, I'm very tired and groggy because I now work night shift. It's almost 12 o'clock, noon. Been awake since 8 o'clock last night. I'm in the loft. I'm going to be rambling. I'm not going to edit this nice and tight, so if you don't want to listen to me ramble, you might as well just watch something else. So over the years, I've been pestered and pestered and pestered, and fair enough, but I've answered a million times on all the different comments, on all the different videos. When's the next episode of Troz, the Railways of Sodor, my fan video series? And like I've been saying, I need to build the new layout, and then I can obviously film on it. Because as you know, if you watch previous videos, I knocked down the old layout for various reasons. And why we decided to film this in the loft. Change of scenery more than anything. I can't show you much, because there isn't much to show. But I can use my hands, and that could help illustrate things. That light is rather yellowy, but it's good for doing stuff with. This is that little P4 layout that's been in my bedroom for a long time. I moved it up here so I could work on it easier, because it's alright where it is in my room. The problem is, it's a ball ache getting it down all the time, because there's no room. So I thought if I bring it up here, at least I can get stuff solved. Now, one of the throwing mechanisms on one of the points kind of broke, so I had to fix it. But where it is to fix, there's like a strut in the way, so it's very difficult to do. Pardon me. And so I decided to basically build an angle crank, because in the past I scratch built an angle crank, kind of out of scale, and the point was throwing better than the rest. So this time I brought some etches, and it kind of works. It's not prototypically accurate, what I've done, but it just looks a bit better, seems to operate okay, so I'm happy. It doesn't have to be perfect. So, yeah. Okay, so I've brought the layout up into the loft. That you can see is now partially boarded and still adjuncted. So this point here, well, this single slip. Right, this is my P4 layout. Yes, it's a bodge job. No, it's not prototypically accurate. Yes, there's massive holes everywhere. Oh well, sod happens. We've experimented and trying things out. That's why I've been building this. So this thing failed, basically. Getting the turnout operating unit, or TOU, is always a bit awkward. I prefer to use these small little tie bars, or more accurately stretcher bars. But on this one, I lost patience, just went for the old sleeper method. So what I've done is, in the past, made me an angle crank. Literally scratch built that. It's completely wrong, doesn't matter because it works. And this is actually the best throwing point there is. Out of all of them. So I thought, okay, so if this is being awkward throwing from here, let's try that again. So I literally got the tortoise point motor and I've turned it 90 degrees, so now it's moving this way instead. And I'm going to make it throw here with an angle crank that then pushes this way. That's the plan anyway. No, it doesn't make any sense. Why would you have a big pin sticking out of the ground? I don't know. But it's fun! So let's see what happens. Oh, look at that. Mint tea. With the tea bags still in. Because it tastes stronger. And it's better. And also... oh, yes. That's what we like. Just... nom. Nom, 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 nom. Yeah. Right then. So, just made this. And I've also made that. If it focuses. Come on. There we go. Scratch boot angle crank, like the other one, although more to scale because I used etches for the actual crank itself, the boomerang shaped thing. And I've laminated two together, so it's a bit stronger. But yeah, it's happy. So something like that. Back in a bit. Okay, so again we got a bodged up sort of Amiga loop, just wrapped around any old owl, and does it work? And the answer is kind of, sort of, yeah, kind of ish. It's just catching the baddest. But we can sort it out, and probably just put a metal thing underneath it so it can slide nicely. And I have to adjust the amount of throw on it. But obviously the last stage will just be the linkage. Right, okay, so after much frustration and faffing about, as you do, I've managed to finally bodge it. I don't know exactly the proper way of doing it, and I'm not trying to make it perfectly prototypically accurate because I just want to make sure the thing throws properly. As long as it throws properly, I couldn't give him monkeys. So this is what it looks like. Pretty poor. And there's a lot of unnecessary strain and tension in there. Originally the bars were too slack, so I just doubled it up with solder. So it works, but it's straining it somewhat. But it's working, right? So therefore, job done, unless it breaks again. So finally that's one job done. It's 3 o'clock and I started on about 12ish, so that's not so bad really. Right. The other thing is, the narrow gauge section is going to go through this building, into a point, into 2 tracks, and that's kind of it. Like I said, this P4 layout is just for me to experiment, try new things, have a bit of fun with. It's not too serious, but you know, that's what we're doing with it. So for these big, well, it's going to be big layout. I'm not abandoning 4mm, but I'm thinking of trying different scales out again, because P4 is different to 0.0, it's a bit more complex in some ways. But I'm thinking of modelling in N gauge. I have joined the 2mm Scale Association, but after a bit of thought and a bit more research, I've decided I'm not actually going to model in that scale, at least not for, I might do a small layout, but not anything proper, because it's a bit more involved, in my opinion, than P4 even. The other thing is, when you're modelling in P4, it changes your mindset. No longer can you go to the shop and just buy something and run it. You have to make a calculated decision. Do I want to convert this locomotive? Can I convert it? Do I have the money to? Do I have the skill? Can I be bothered? Etc. That's all well and good. I like P4. But you do lose the ready-to-run novelty. Okay? And part of me, the kid inside of me, is screaming out to just play. Because for years and years, I haven't been playing. I've been at my desk, doing my little sort of conversions, making little railway series things. And the past year, as you know, I've been modelling, doing a lot of stuff for SCC. Before I even launched the shop, for a good amount of months, probably 7 or so, I can't remember now, 10, I can't remember now. I was modelling an awful lot on the computer and on the desk. So for years and years, I've had an awful lot of desk modelling. And I just want to play. I really just want to play, you know. So before I tell you what I'm going to do initially, let me just go briefly into my bigger long-term modelling plans. Okay. As you know, I do appreciate the railway series. It's something I do find interesting in life, amongst other things. I do have a modelling vision to film it accurately, as I believe Wilbur Audrey would have done, rather than how the TV series did. Over the years, many of you have sent me many emails, PMs, comments, etc., thanking me for some of the modelling and the videos that I've done, because apparently I've inspired you to do things, and some of you have tried to copy some of the things, and that's appreciated. I'm always trying to raise the bar. I'm always trying to push up the standard, and this is no different. I still have this goal in the future to, you know, film shows properly. But obviously it can't live like that. It has to take, you know, it has to not take precedence. You have to live your life. You have to fit it in. And so for this loft, I've been planning over the years as well, plenty of layouts that I can all fit in an integrated system, because what most modelers seem to do, me included, is you build your model railway, and after a certain amount of years has elapsed, you just get rid of it, break it up or sell it, which is a shame. Okay, I don't want to do that. There's better ways. So the plan is, build your layout and have a massive section that's removable. Then you can basically take that out, modular section, store it probably under the layout, bung in a new section. That will give you then a different model railway, a different scene, etc. It's more future-proof. You can do more with it then. Now the previous layout that I filmed all the little episodes on was 12 foot by 6 foot, and on this side there's two little 2 foot bits that I never really did much with. This layout I'm planning is going to be a bit different. It's going to be around the room, so it's going to be a bit of a hugger, and it's going to be the lowest section marked out here, 17.5 foot long by 11 foot width, so there's plenty more space to do things with. Already got some of the hardboard up, and I don't know if you can see from here, but there's some hardboard on the slats as well, both sides. It ain't finished yet. Now this room, I don't know what blooming shape it is. It's not a rectangle, that's for sure. It's probably a parallelogram or rhombus, I don't know. It's hickledy-pickledy, it goes up and down, it's like a house of mirrors, it's all over the place. 1898 this house was built, so that probably tells you a few things. So, for a while I've been planning this big P4 layout, right? My research interpretation of the Sudrian location, Knapford Junction, pre-1955 version, I've been doing that. Tweaked a plan over the years. I've been sort of planning it in for P4 in any rail, the program. If you don't have that, go and get it, it's excellent. And then I've recently been trying to convert it in template, because I'd rather have some more flowing curves and points rather than just the ones you can buy. You can buy point kits for P4, but if you want your own personally customised track work, realistically you want to use template or something. So I'm going to build that. I don't know yet. I'm not sure, because again, part of me just wants to play. Part of me just wants to go back to 0-0 because it's easier. I don't like the track and wheels in 0-0, I really don't. But what I have found is you can hand build your 0-0 track and it looks pretty good. And I may do that, because I've seen quite a few layouts both in person and in magazines that are hand built with 0-0 track. And it looks really good, and especially at low level. You don't tell the difference so much as yet. Plus Pico, they've now released their Code 75 Bullhead British style track, and they're going to release points. So I'm very interested to see what they look like. Now, the other thing is I thought, end gauge. Yeah, like I said, I'll join the 2mm Scale Association, but rather than actually modelling this in that scale, I'm going to just probably buy some bits, maybe hand build some of the track. But normal end gauge, you get the ready to run aspect back. You can just buy it, plonk it and run it, just like a normal. And part of me needs that. So if you've got 17.5 foot long by 11 foot in end gauge, you can fit a pretty substantial empire in that thing. You really can. And what I've decided is, if I start modelling in end gauge, I don't have to abandon 0-0 or P4. I can do both. I can do a bit of O gauge as well. I've built a couple of wagons on O gauge. Imagine this. Bottom layer, 4mm, top layer, end gauge, or the other way around. Okay? Logically, the 4mm layout would be better on the bottom because it requires more space. But I don't know what I'm doing yet. If I use 4mm on the bottom layer, that could go around the room, all the way around, as a typical roundy. Okay? And then probably that sort of distance of the like an end gauge layout going around, and you've got enough space for sky here, and you'd have enough space for sky there, and it'd be okay. You'd be able to get away with it, I think. And you could have those as two roundies. And if a 4mm one was 0-0, I could have another P4 layout as an end-to-end, spanning the length of the room. Excuse me. or not, or O gauge, or both. And again, the boards break down, you store them underneath or above. I'm sure that's doable. We've done some measurements. Seems like a good idea to me. Yeah, it's a lot of work. I'm talking long term here. We had another idea. If you look on your screen, this is the current idea I have for N gauge. Okay. So on this side, basically here, you can have the whole blooming stretch of Tidmouth. You can have the whole station. You can have the NPD, sheds and turntable, old style. You can have all these storage tracks in the part of the yard that goes next to it, which I can use as a fitted yard or storage yard. You can have part of the dock. That would also be part of the actual thing that loops the circle. Obviously wrong, but you can, you can't have everything. So yeah, you could go out the station, go around a slight left curve like it should do, into the Tidmouth tunnels, curve right, out of the other side of the Tidmouth tunnels, which is also now the Knapford tunnels. That section you can double up as the Ballyhoo tunnels as well. So that one section can be, that's basically Henry's tunnel in case you don't know. That section can visually be 3 different locations. Great. Keep going around the room, then you can jump into Knapford Junction where it should be. Okay. Obviously you have to wrap it round because you're fitting it in a room rather than go almost straight. That's kind of one idea. I was originally planning on the N gauge doing Knapford Junction as a pre-1955 version in N, but then I thought, well, how about, now I've got more space, in theory, squeeze in the new version of Knapford that takes up more space, and then I could still model the pre-55 version on the 4mm layout. That's something I'm planning to do. May go ahead with it. For those of you who don't know, N gauge is approximately 2mm to the foot scale, where 0.0 to P4 is 4mm to the foot scale. That means in N gauge you have 4 times the floor space and 8 times the actual cubic volume. So you get a lot more space. Anyway, it goes round into Knapford. Then you have a section where there's like an option. You can hit a reverse loop and come back if you want, or you can continue the loop through the dock. That'd be great. And the section between the Ballyhoo tunnels and Knapford, that section can be removable. You have a 7-foot stretch, probably broken into 2 boards, to fit in different scenes for future, or for filming, or for whatever. They have to be smaller boards to fit through the loft hatch. I want to make sure whatever I build, I can fit down that hatch, because I might move house one day, or might want to run things, or operate, or work on something out of the loft. So that's the big long-term set of plans, basically. There's another thing as well. This room here, well, obviously, you've got this business going on with the roof. You've got the slats there, the slats there. So obviously the higher you go, the less width you're going to get. Less length you're going to get, rather. But we've measured it. From these things, you can't see there, can you? These things, in between there's about 8 foot. So, if you take into account the width of the board here, the width of the board on the other side, taking that width, take the length, I can have 8 foot long by probably 5 to 7 foot width. How about some kind of pulley system? So if I've already got a big layout going around the room, or 2, you can also have another one as basically a box or a rectangle in the middle on a pulley system. That when you put it down, you pull it and it drops around you. Based on the plans I've been doing on any rail, that means I could also model Gordon's Hill into Mound Station, into the viaduct, into Cronk Station. That's 4 locations in sequential order. Coupled with this massive thing, that means I can basically model, film and play with the complete left side of the island on the NWR if I want to. That seems like a good idea. So that's kind of that plan. And I'm talking long term, because obviously I'm pretty much a one-man band. It's not like I'm in a club and everybody's working on the same layout. Just me. Yeah, might be able to get a bit of help from parents occasionally, but apart from that, it's just me. So it's not very quick. That's basically the plan for that. The other thing is, been working this night shift for, I can't remember, 3 to 4 months now. I've stayed the same rough weight and shape since doing it. Not really gained any weight, not really lost any, I've stayed roughly the same. But before that, I managed to lose 3 stone, put on a bit of muscle and gain some fitness. And that's great. I'm still fat, I'm still unfit, but I'm quite happy. This is nowhere near as bad as I was. I was 3 stone heavy, I was 19 stone 11, now about 16, 8 roughly. And I'm fitter and stronger, so that's good. I'm just waiting for phase 2, wherever that's going to be, because you know the score, you go work, you come back and you're tired. And I have that problem. Especially night shift, you end up doing stints where you can wait for ages. So now I'm just rambling like I said I would. Told you modelling plans in terms of my own layouts. But there's one more plan. Right, these boards. Got 2 of these. One of these. Okay. The other 2 is basically the same as this, cut in half. So because I've never modelled an end gauge before, it seems sensible for me to do something similar to this. Test a layout, something small, not too complex. So I've been designing this thing that's roughly 4 foot by 3 foot. Okay? Boards ain't going to be any wider than sort of 2 foot because they have to go down the loft edge. But 4 foot by 3 foot, end gauge layout, nothing fancy, nothing too massive, not a stuttering location because I couldn't really fit anything in. Excuse me. And I'm not going too complex. I'm going to be using Pico track for a lot of it. I'm using a bit of fine tracks for some of the straights. Have a look online, it's just more to scale. And I was thinking of using their point kits, but apparently you have to change the back-to-backs on your stock, so I'm not sure if I'm going to do that now. But I've got, I'm quite looking forward to it. I'm going to be starting building very soon. And what I would love to do is vlog it. So you can basically watch me build it. And any other layout I do, I can film it and you can watch me. Hopefully enjoy it, pick up some tips, or you know, see how not to do things, because if I make a balls up, you get to see it. Then you can avoid it, you see. Or you can just point and laugh. Whatever you want to do. But I'm looking forward to doing that because it's just, I like doing that sort of stuff. And I'm hoping to start it this weekend. Maybe even today. I'm not really sure. But it'll just be starting to build a baseboard, really. And I'm going to buy some foam, put that top, a bit like I did with this. Go from there, really. So as usual, I hope you enjoy the video. Comments, all that crap. And well, I would say I'll see you in the next video. We all say that. It's actually crap, isn't it? I don't see you. You see me. You're watching me. So how do I see you? I don't know. We just talk crap, don't we? Right. I shall see you in a bit.
Ooh, oh, it's there. Row, 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 row.